if you are a bargain shopper, do not walk, run to Black Friday. Run. Now, if you don't know what Black Friday is, it is one of those stores that buys Amazon and other returns from different vendors like Amazon. If you don't have a Black Friday near you or in a city near you that you can get to closely, you still want to try and find one of these type of Amazon reseller things. And I will tell
they're called differently. They have different names. Ours here is Black Friday.
And Black Friday is a chain. So they are okay. Black Friday is a chain, and so they are around. We even visited a very tiny town in Nebraska, and we found one there that we went to.
Wow.
Right? But I want to talk to you, the things that you're seeing right here, these are examples of things from Black Friday. And I'm going to show you a whole bunch of clips of the actual Black Friday, what one of the stores look like and what the deals are that you can get. Now, the way it works is they're closed one day a week.
Yep.
For ours in Houston, the Black Fridays, they're closed on Thursday and they open on Fridays. And on Fridays, the price is $8 for anything in there.
Anything in there.
So this whole set of vases were in a box. So if you had bought this on Friday, it would have been $8.
Yep.
Then whatever they don't sell that day, the next day, everything goes down to $6. And then the next day, Sunday, everything goes down to $4, $2, $1. Last day, everything that's left is 50 cents. And I will tell you, ours has gotten very smart because they want you to come back multiple days, and so they are still releasing. We were there again last Sunday, and they were releasing new things.
New things,
like during the day that was going to be at that day's price.
Yep.
So these I purchased on a Sunday, and I got all of them for $4.
Yeah, came up.
I couldn't believe it, right? I could not believe it. Not a single one is broke, chipped, nothing. They're absolutely fabulous. Here's some of the other great things we got from some of our $4. We got a beautiful Belle costume, like from Beauty and the Beast, that we found on Amazon and was $64.98. I got it for $4.
Yep.
We got a penguin onesie. And these are new. They still have the tags on them. We got a
pirate dog costume.
A pirate dog costume for $4. We got a purple dress for one of my daughters for $4.
Got my husband a nice pair of pants.
Yeah, you got two pair of pants.
Yeah, one for my husband, one for my son. Yeah, $4 because we went on Sunday.
One of my son got a Rubik's Cube that was a Japanese Rubik's Cube.
Oh, cool!
It's very cool. Everything's kind of rounded a little bit, and he just thought it was all that and then some.
Oh, I got my daughter a Pokemon blanket.
It is
wrapped
fabulous.
up really tight. And it was $4. It was $4. She loved that.
Now here's the thing.
Tips.
If you're a thrifter, you will love it because you gotta dig.
You gotta dig.
They literally take all the returns and they throw them into places, and you have to dig through to find. And we're gonna show you videos on that and show you how we digged and some of the great things that are in there.
Yeah.
Okay, here we go. This is going to be a little bit of a long video, but I wanted to show you everything that Black Friday has to offer. So just to remind you, Friday's $8, Saturday's $6, Sunday's $4, Monday's $2, Tuesday $1, and Wednesday's only 50 cents. Now, if you don't have a Black Friday in your town, just look for Amazon liquidation stores or Amazon return stores on Google and you will find them. Can you see the massive amount of bins that are here? It's just absolutely crazy. And to be honest, they just throw everything in. Here was a set of eyelashes that were $4. This day that you're seeing all this video from is $4 day. There's a lot of things for air fryers that we've seen. I think a lot of people are buying different silicone and other things for their air fryers and then returning them. You do have to be careful, like that diamond point, it didn't have all of the pieces. A lot of these boxes and items are opened by people who are trying to see what's inside. Like, for example, nobody shipped this tiara like this, but it was in a box and someone took it out to look at it to see what was in it for the $4. Now, the items that don't sell on $4 day will go down to $2 the next day, then $1, then 50 cents. There are some smaller items that just aren't worth, the higher prices, but on 50 cent day are an absolute steal. If you are somebody that loves to thrift and loves to look through all these things, you are going to love this. Now, they usually have the food food and stuff sectioned off to a different area. There's not a lot of it, but there is some, but occasionally there is some that's in there. And there's things like this, which is part of a light fixture. You might remember this makeup holder tortilla that we showed on one of our shorts, which was one of our favorite things, but you can get it cheaper than $4 on Temu. Look at this pop, though. Isn't that amazing? I loved that one. $4. Is that something that you would buy for your kids? Now, as you are going through, they do have carts and they do have bags. I highly recommend you do grab one, because some of the stuff, if you're getting a larger thing, is quite heavy, and you're going to want to not stop every time to look. There are a ton of electronic items, and there are things like sunglasses, there's wigs and weaves and all kinds of other items too that you would find similar in like a TJ Maxx. Now, stuffed animals, it's really weird. If you find one, like that one mushroom, there tends to be like 20 of them. There is also clothing. This is one of the areas that my family goes to. Some of the costumes that we have gotten that people have returned unworn are phenomenal. Look at these red sequin pants. They are absolutely hilarious. And if you had the right thing to wear them with, there was a top that matched for only $4. That is actually a smoking deal. Now, there is lots of Taylor Swift type items. This is, of course, already halfway through 2024, so not sure that you'd buy this for $4, but you might for 50 cents if you come back on 50-cent day. There are a lot of Taylor Swift items. There is glassware, and here's where you do have to dig, because like that was in a box that if somebody hadn't opened it and looked inside, the boxes are not labeled great, so sometimes it can be really hard to tell what's inside, so you do have to rip open a little. You will see some people in the videos wearing gloves as they're picking things up. It is a choice, because sometimes there's food items in here. You may want to wear gloves just so you don't get your hands yucky, especially the further along you go. When you get to 50 cents day, man, everything is really opened a lot. And so you might want to choose to wear gloves more on 50 cents a day. There is a box of candy, for example. Who would buy a used box of candy? I can't even believe they would take a return of a box of candy, but whatever. I'm not in control there. So there are lots of things that I look at sometimes and I'm like, I have no idea what that is. But a lot of times there's barcodes and you can actually find it in there on Amazon. They do not care if you are looking things up on Amazon and Wish and Temu and stuff to see if it's a good deal or not. Phone cases, tons of phone cases available. There's sometimes they'll even sell huge flats of phone cases because they've gotten in so many at a time and they didn't know what to do with them, that you can get them even cheaper than the 50 cents per phone case. Like these things right here, I didn't know what they were till I looked at them. They are actually to put on notebooks. Those of you that are more crafters might know what some of those are. A lot of the electronics and the tools as well. I find myself having to do Google searches and look them up to see what some of them are, to see if it really is a good deal or not. There are some times where things get separated, and if it came out of one box, they don't mind you putting it back in the same box if it's obvious that it was something that was supposed to be together. For example, I bought some little rubber duckies and it was obvious that they were in. There's also things that are seasonal. There you saw the football bags. You do see some things like this is that TikTok famous frozen magic Slurpee maker. Well, you'll see things like this that are very popular. There's tons of weird things that you're like, how did that ever get there at all onto Amazon? But overall, there's just so many great things for you to kind of choose and pick and decide what you want and what you don't want. The clothes, most of them are still vacuum sealed in the bags. There are some things that are hanging up. It can be challenging sometimes to tell the sizes and stuff, but when it's like that, it is so easy to look up on Amazon and see what the actual price is. Look how cool this sand art is. It was so beautiful. This was hilarious. You see they spelled Taylor and Lover wrong. Sorry, Taylor Swift. That is probably why this one was a return. There's, again, lots of Easter things that we did see. This is for weed eaters, so you can use the spools to help cut your grass and stuff and edge. All kinds of things like that. It's not just one section of beauty or anything. Everything is mixed together, including you saw the one shoe there. There's lots of times that if you really like a shoe, you got to go hunt down the other one because it is just somewhere completely separate. There, again, you can see too, some of these things are taped over, and that's because the way that they did the returns, whoever returned them chose to do that. This is an example of a record, but the record inside was obviously old and not a match to the record cover. They may have returned it that way, or it may have been swapped by somebody that was actually in the store of Black Friday. Hard to tell which one they did. Another thing that I will say is when you're going through all of these different things, if you see something you like, just put it in your basket. You can go through later and decide if you want it or you don't want it, because you never know what you're going to find in the next table. And this is something that this is not a 20-minute shopping excursion. You're going to be there for a couple hours minimum in order to get through even just a small amount of the stuff that is at these different type of Black Friday stores. It's just massive and massive amounts of returns. There was a bike helmet, there was a costume, a bit of a fence art deco type thing was one of the other things that we saw. Crazy amounts of different items. I'm sure there's things that we missed that are very valuable, but it's just sometimes it's hard to see because there is so much stuff, as you can see there, that it's just, what do I look at next and what do I go for next? Here was another thing that I thought was kind of cool. If you were into those old type of movies, this was 72 vintage horror, like postcards of the movie for $4. Just so many deals, so incredibly hard to make decisions to decide what's a buy and what's a no buy. Okay, so that showed you Black Friday and what it looks like. Is it a bit of a mess?
It's a bit of a mess. Wear gloves.
Wear gloves.
I did not. I touched some yucky stuff when I was there.
Yeah, because sometimes they'll have like a food item in there, and they're
or
supposed
lotion,
to. Yes. You have to pick. There is no doubt, but I am telling you, there are amazing deals, and it's not picking any more than you would if you were thrifting.
Yeah,
somewhere.
and I would not bring small children.
I wouldn't either because it gets crazy.
It gets crazy.
It gets crazy.
You want to make sure you can keep up with them, and you want to shop, right?
Yeah. You want to have time to dig and to look and stuff. Get a cart. You're going to need a cart. And I think our number one tip that we've learned is we get a cart. If we see something we like, we put it in the cart. And then we just keep going. And then at the end, we go through and we say, okay, we're going to take this out of the cart. We're going to keep this in the cart and decide what we actually want to do.
It's kind of like, think about it if you've ever gone to the Goodwill bins.
It's
kind of like that kind of mayhem.
But it's not used.
It's not used. It's all new. It's returns. New. It's returns.
Yeah. So don't walk. Run to your nearest Black Friday or other similar place. Show us some pictures of what you get. Let us know if you do have one that's similar to Black Friday in your town. Please put the name of it and put the name of the town that it's in the comments. We would love to maybe try to go visit it.
We're travelers.
Yeah, we'll go.
We'll go for cheap stuff.
All right. As always, thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.
Bye.